Hi, I'm Dave Epstein. Welcome to this edition of Growing Wisdom. Today we're talking about dwarf conifers. And today we're going to talk about some of the dwarf conifers out there. I want to focus on this little Chamaecyparis here. This is Hibari. And the reason why I'm focusing on this is because we have one little specimen here that's a little plant. It's only about 2 feet tall. And then we've got one that's been in the ground for about 5 years, and you can see what's happened to it. And I think that this is a really important way to talk about many of the plants that you buy in a nursery. So as we were just saying, this is Hibari. It's Chamaecyparis obtusa. This tends to be a smaller variety of Chamaecyparis or Chamaecyparis, depending on how you want to pronounce it. And this has been in the pot probably for a few years. It's only a couple of feet tall. But look at the difference between this and this. So it's the same plant, but it's just 5-6 years down the road, and you can see how it's going to grow. Now, if you read about this plant, and this is the case for many dwarf conifers, they'll say, oh, it only grows 3 to 4 feet. Well, this is already over 4 feet tall, and it's going to continue to grow. So even a dwarf doesn't stay that small. Even some of the true miniatures will tend to get a little bit bigger over time. But when it says dwarf, be really careful where you place things. Here this is, and already it's starting to come into the lawn. It looked really good next to the rock. If you can picture something like this next to the rock a few years ago, wow, that looked really nice. And now we're starting to get big. So we might have to prune it. We could move it if we needed to do that, although I think I'd rather prune than move. The point here is when you place your plants, allow room for them to grow. Know that even a dwarf plant's going to get a lot bigger. Now, as long as we're talking about this, one thing that a lot of conifers will do is they'll lose their needles or their growth from the previous year or the previous year before that. So you can see when a conifer's browning on the interior, it's probably losing last year's growth or the year before. So really don't worry, you can even go in and kind of help it along. In another few weeks, this plant will have shed all of its old growth and we'll have all this nice new stuff coming up. For Growing Wisdom, I'm Dave Epstein.